to clear the way for his team. One more, come on, one more for good measure. Give us another quad back-to-back.
I want 2 more, man. You're an easy customer. I want him to get the ace. I want them to all be headshots as well. In fact, he's only allowed 2 bullets to get these 2 kills. Actually, 1 bullet. Massive round out of X-Rezo. And you could even giving him a little bit of a love tap, saying, you know what, mate? If they can't do it to you, I got to remind you that you can bleed.
Things seem to be going pretty well for X-Rostek. I think that's a fair assessment at the moment. 5-1 T-side, their own map pick. And having won that first of Inferno. I mean, the stocks are going up right now.
Yeah, true. Just scary. X-Rustic have got their momentum behind them, and they're just going to be charging in towards middle. 2 frags found. Moonwalk going to try and come through the vent, and he has successfully gotten a kill back, but he's taken a lot of damage in the process. Still alive.
Dodge the nade.
Crazy.
Ollie beneath him, a nade to try to finish the job. It walks away with 6 HP, but the problem here is that you've lost all of mid control. You're in limbo, 2 plays on B. You're trying to make some sort of a race or call back toward the mid. Is it mid or now A? Oh, that feels a little bit odd, right? Olymp walks back. It seems like they're going to try to double team way out of connector. Now instead, 6 HP, Moonwalk peeks in, dead. Shooting you Olymp? I don't know why they don't go for it if they want to clear out mid. It's on A, things are not getting any better. There's smokes down. Not necessarily a fight that can be taken, and suddenly a 4 versus 2 as X-Rustic are, dare I say, locking in 6? It's out of it on Wadazaki.
You could definitely follow through with that statement. 6-1. X-Rustic are just dominating Volzhaki. They're only 7-round wins away here, mate, from winning the map. Very concerning for Volzhaki, even with the return of Raiko. That's rude, Patsy, closing the door in your teammate's face. Not very polite. I bet if the door's open, you take more damage to the bomb explosion.
Not sure, actually. By the way, do you know if the old trick to open the door inward still works? Where you boost or crouch teammate in front of the door, you open it up top?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure.
I don't have it, friends. I can't test this out.
Don't lie to yourself like that. How's good old Tio doing? It's been a while since I cast a game with him.
They walk away.
Tell me about my boy. How's Tio?
He's doing alright. He's been encountering very blatant cheaters in deathmatch. And those case farms. As soon as you start to spectate, then they stop and leave.
Has he been popping off?
I don't think so.
No, but I mean, has he been mad? Has it been getting to him?
Yeah, sure. Not necessarily in the largest way. He's kind of expecting that at the moment, right? It's just sort of a disappointment, like a sigh, but he knows it's coming. That is, however, pretty good play coming out with the CT side. While Zaki will just layer plays into mid. Flashbangs, smokes, the whole shebang. 3 players sent out, and out on A. Olymp double. As well, Shaki will double their rounds.
Much needed as well. You could see that X-Rustic just wanted to test them with another fast and pacey play, and it started off all right, but then Volzhaki just hammer home. They drop the hammer, really. Get the kills necessary. And that means, like you said, they're going to be able to add another Ted Tally. It's going to be a lot more that came from. More than enough money for X-Rustic to reinvest here. Next one will be a bit more questionable, though.
Right towards A. Just a little bit of youth by Yextrezo all the way toward the B side, but everybody else, contact out to A. And all in for the first victim, they're going to start the final out right afterwards. This is one of the benefits as well the A side does have, is you can execute pretty damn close toward the bomb site. So if you get contact positively, you get the opening, it's going to look something like this in the very best case scenario. Players down as they're trying to rotate in and as they're trying to support their teammates through mid and highway. All that gone. Next Rustic, they won't let a single round loss go to there or affect them too much.
I mean, it's a problem for Volzhaki is that it's happened again and that they're just not able to build up any momentum here. Or Head's team are Volzhaki. They just constantly get slapped straight back down immediately after winning a round. That means 7-2 puts X-Rustic 6 rounds away and in a position where they've now got a guaranteed lead going into the second half. Honestly, I can't believe that this is the same team that I watched playing against Gen 1 just like 2.5 hours ago, man.
Pop-off potential. Right now, they're showing it. What they can do at their best and how devastating they can be to anybody who's not fully prepared. Ball. Look for some sort of a way in. Starting with the X-Rezo yet again, same as last round, bullying toward the B side. Contact is going to be out on A, however, you've got 3 CTs on the case, on the job, and all up close, dodging the boost, never mind. Excuse me, as I lie on the internet. As with the opening, and now it's going to be instead X-Rustic trying to pivot on the fly. They don't want to try to make it as easy to predict. Later to play a little bit more. Mid control is going to be at least contested. I say that, never mind. Just the utility, so it's just to show face. Right back to A. Keep it simple.
Yeah, see if they can lock it down. Yeah, they need to. May and Raiko, the 2 players over on the side of the map, problems it's the MP9 and the low health player, so it's not an ideal duo or combination. X-Rustic biding their time, trying to delay activation for as long as they can. Squeaky door opened, util deployed, take commences. May and Raiko with it all to do right now. It's a brilliant flashbang, but Raiko completely blind will still be able to get the 2 kills necessary anyway. That's a man advantage now all of a sudden. Brilliance can't come through the door. It'll be wall banged by Samay. Lovely spray. 10 seconds now. Blank from Moonwalk. Probably surplus to requirements. He's still trapped. Like, there isn't even enough time anymore. Xrezo just needs to try and survive. That won't happen either. And Volzhaki have at least done themselves a service by finding a third.
That'll keep him in the conversation for this first half still. And we'll be putting these last 3 rounds pretty much as requirements them to win. If not the last 2, at least the last one. 4 will be by no means perfect, but it will be at least enough. It doesn't really... It's not a good point to make when you say, you know what, at least you got 4, at least you got something here. Because right now we're looking for convincing around something to believe in. It is not happening even at this round of the entry from JCAS. Raid him through the wall. Stops Walzaki from having early mid control, and now you get to slow things out on X-Rustic. If there is going to be a second phase of this assault on mid, get us a retake. You don't have to run it down immediately. That's what they're going to try and do here as well, with slowly setting up Yuka up above on the boost. Oh, found and looking away for a split second. It's May, and suddenly there is yet again a trouble knocking down at the CT's door.
Yeah, we haven't seen Volzhaki win consecutive rounds yet here on the CT side, mate. It doesn't look like it's going to happen now. By me should get traded, never mind. That's ridiculous that he's been able to find a second kill before he inevitably goes down. And he's left his team in sure a disadvantageous situation, but one that It was far more doable than what was at the 3v5. Just a one-man deficit this time. JK's timing couldn't have been better for him there as he peeks into Olymp. Only Samay left. He's just been smoked out as well. He's going to have to pack his bags and head for the hills. X-Rustic have done it again. They've bounced back immediately after having lost a round here on Cash.
At some point, it has to be enough is enough sort of situation, and I feel like we have arrived. Last round. Gotta be it. Don't win it, I'm sorry to say, I do not have any sort of faith. The only thing, maybe, is that you can at least repeat some of the things on this T side in terms of very good calling by X-Rustic, which should not be understated here. The fact that they're even in this round as well able to very quickly notice, okay, we got the double entries through mid, we spotted May still on highway with the AWP, probably not the only A player. They make a very quick call, let's say, go B, 3 players suddenly in B main, walk in toward the site, and that is going to be that one done. Dusted in the bag yet again. It's some really good calling coming out here.
Yeah, I agree with you completely. You combine that calling with supreme firepower and mechanical ability on display here for X-Rustic as well, and it creates this wonderful combination. Oh, the flash is so good, but Samay will regain his vision just in time. I like that activation and the acceleration from Patsy a lot. It's just unfortunate that it doesn't work out for him.
A lot of trust now placed on the bomb sites. But we do have Olymp searching through A main. He's got it all the way behind him, so you gotta hold for a second or two until the call information is there that it is this B side, but you do not have that vision available due to your own smoke deployed in the way. So this B defense is not gonna be an easy one to really set up properly with Moonwalk, a Desert Eagle only, but it does have By Me. Is waiting. There's one. Now you know, waiting at the back. And you can just bypass it. You can try to flush him out. That's what they'll do. Looking for the next one through vent. Olymp's already here. They're buying just enough time.
Oh, needed that. Needed that.
And Moonwalk will do so. You'll get 4, and that's half one done.
Okay, so we kind of wrap up that first half with rounds just being traded back and forth, right? Means that X-Rustic come away with 8 out of that first half. Is that enough for them to get it done in 2 maps here, Nexus? I mean, it feels like Volzhaki are slowly coming online as the map goes on, but a hell of a T side required from them here to win the map in the second half.
As well, they'll have to not only win this round, but unlike what happened on Inferno, they'll have to win the follow-up as well. Try to get things started. This B side will be taken over fairly easily, as it's just been given over and finally the opening to Jake Kaz. Brilliant's down next. By Me is continuing with a double. Volzhaki, one step forward. Any more to take? But this at least will put him in the right path. You get a bomb plant down here, a fair few kills. The only problem, Hayes, I'm still worried about what could be repeating. Oh, what?
There's no one else on the bomb site, bro. There was no one else, but they didn't know that. They didn't have a kit. Oh my god, if Patsy had just run through and jumped on the defuse, I'm not sure he would have gotten there in time, but there would have been a chance. And they'll get some kills for some extra money. Oh, Volzhaki, they've almost cost themselves. Volzhaki are so lucky that they didn't have a kit there.
If they had it, they would have just speed run the defuse immediately. But nonetheless, it's still got to be good enough as well where Patsy's now able to burst at M4. You will force by here for X-Rustic. And yet again, same sort of pressure on Volzhaki, especially now. We know how Inferno ended with the question of, okay, is it enough? Can't they push it over the line? We thought, okay, they'll have at least a chance to do so. You want to avoid that situation. You do not want to be under pressure as much as you were. And it starts here, starts now. Take care of the force buy, put him on a real eco. we've got some moves out of X-Rustic. They are, for whatever reason, all gambling, reading this correctly onto A. Utility's going to be coming in. That'll confirm the suspicions, the whereabouts of the C side. Now willing to run A main. It's just the utility for now.
Do they end A, or are they going to go over the mid roof here?
Second smoke coming over.
Yeah. X-Rustic, as you've already said, are very well poised to deal with what's coming their way right now. Oh, Yuka. That's a problem. He's actually going to survive, though. Interesting position from Patsy, but Riker will be the one to decapitate him.
Wait.
Imagine just a bloodbath. Yeah, it's all good. Quite a lot of damage done, but 4 of the 5 players surviving still for Volzhaki. Yuka can't do much about it. He'll go down as well, as Volzhaki have now successfully drawn within 2.
Important. Now put him on that eco. He'll take away a lot of the early momentum that otherwise could be had. But Volzhaki, 7 about to be on the board. Now, I'm a little bit, I guess, perplexed as well, right? How forward Patsy is about that, because it is a headshot angle that requires a T-set to swing wide. Your head, as we saw there, can be spotted nonetheless, right? That's just the way the geometry works. Could have just played with his teammates a bit more. But a small moment, a small play, and one that will, you know, affect things a little bit. Now in this one, we don't have as much to talk about. Reiko will just take 2, entering the B side and rotations. All that currently being made. One still the side being burned. Eventually, Brilliance should be downed. But JKS has delayed his teammate's execution. Patsy's got another. It's suddenly a little bit expensive, but all still going to be under control as long as the bomb gets toward the site, gets planted. That should be all there is. A last second dig for weapons.
Exactly. And another kill here would be nice as well for X-Rustic, just to make sure Volzhaki don't start to snowball here. They only had, what, 1 casualty in that previous round, right? But it is going to be 8-7. So, very good stuff as Volzhaki. I mean, it's the first time they've won consecutive rounds was the pistol into the anti-force, and now they'll successfully add a 3rd to that tally as well.
Okay.
And that means the game is on. Ooh, that's another kill. JK is tough to track, but eventually he'll go down as well. 1-round game now.
There's Patsy looking for a weapon. There is one. A Galil he is able to get. Not the best, but it'll definitely set up the extra res and buy all the utility out of the kits required to have a little bit extra in the bank as well. And X-Rustic weapons out, and Volzhaki, if they are to change the conversation, it is now to do so. Win this first gun round, keep X-Rustic still down low toward the ground on the second half. Comeback has begun. This will only cement that further. What can we do to change that, is the question. Brave. There's no flash for this.
That's a meaty grenade. This is the round here for Volzhaki to bring this back into a position of even keel and probably even control, because X-Rustic won't have much money if they lose this round. Oh, Patsy's making a move. He's hearing a lot of steps in middle as well, so it's going to be great info that he can relay through to his teammates. There's still one player on the roof, but he's dropped off now. And he spotted another. He spotted the bomb. That's true, going in towards this B-bomb site. So Patsy's got a really good idea as to what's going on here now.
All you need is the entry. Deny that. Make this T-side hesitate that Patsy's going to be activating it a little bit faster, but instead, bet off by Volzhaki. Brilliance is here. This might as well give X-Rezo a chance to set up, but now Patsy on the flank will all activate at the same time. Moonwalk thinking he's the smart one flanking them. Better know that's just space they gave away while setting up for the execution. The B defense all coming through together. In seconds for Moonwalk to find 3.
Or the
Then
AWP.
take the AWP and walk away. That's not a bad haul.
Thank that. Thank the AWP. Get the hell out of there. Extras to keep daylight between themselves and Volzhaki. Open up here on their CT side. First round they've won in the second half. They go up to 9. That one largely down to Patsy. And sure, he does only get 1 kill, but it was never about like the damage. It was about the info that he was getting for his teammates. So they were able to set up with certainty. Enough money here for Volzhaki to invest for the most part. The Olymp, who's going to be down on a weaker weapon, but everybody else outside of that will have whatever they want. But should they lose this round, Nexus, then it feels like they almost are going to have to kiss the map away.
Well, that's problematic to start. You miss a lot of things, and then you miss Reiko as well. In terms of how poorly does the round start, I think this is up there. You don't have a whole lot of available overall for this T side, so missing the smoke, the Molotov, and the boost alongside an entire player definitely does poke your plans down a little bit. Next Rustic. They're just in a good position. You have this player in the bench. I think that's going to be brilliant. Could swing out, find at least 1 for free, maybe 2 depending on the timing. JKS might be the contact, and then we'll see Brilliance move. I think that's the entire case, but eventually that fight is taken. And we're shifting back toward the B side. This is good. Molotov does stop JKS for a second as well. Able to instead adjust Watazaki toward the B-bomb side, and now it's just 1 man at the side. Gixrezo talked about him a lot. Needs to get at least what a slow down as the side. Unable to do so. Moonwalk with the opening. And it might be the finisher, unless JKS instead tries to get into the action, forces his way in. Out from both sides. And Yuka, 1 vs 2 incoming.
Is this one worth attempting? I don't know. It's probably what he's asking himself right now as well. I think saving the AWP is probably the best option. I mean, trying to retake 1v2 into this B-bomb site with nothing going for him is going to be a massive gamble, and one that probably isn't worth it. And so he will accept his fate. Volzhaki bounce back immediately after having lost their first round. This map has been dominated by T-side so far. And that continues here in round 16.
The big reason as well for the retake there are not going for it is the smoke being up in heaven. Yuka does not want to go through that, and when he arrives as well toward the scene, the bomb is planted, so had the smoke not been there, in theory, there is a chance he could isolate, I think that was by me, who would have been toward main. Right, there's that, one opening that could have been had, but by the timing of everything, it just does not work out for him. And we move over toward round number 18. Weapon is going to be dropped over by him. But Volzhaki, yet another chance to tie things up as Rustic could go all in. The focus is going to be on mid control. A boost on Sandbags to get their players up as well. It'll work out for the opening. 1 down for Go Rustic. Yet again, good openings.
Yeah, they need to convert this one though, mate. Oh, big moment brewing here between the AWPers, and Yuka will come out on top. Samay was probably licking his chops thinking, oh, I've got him here dead to right, but Yuka will pull the trigger first. And his shot connects. Oh, it looked like they were considering it, but I don't think it's necessary in the 5v2. You've already done the hard graft in the round.
Kind of nasty. He sent essentially 3 players out to, I think that was Sandbags, and then top of the roof. You boost up JKS for a nasty little double. And coming out to our final minute in this one, Bimey is going to be left alone toward the B-bomb side. It does not feel good. You're just defaulting, thinking, okay, if anybody's going to try to push, I'll be here. I'll maybe spam 1 through the smoke, but all of your teammates are dead before any sort of impact can actually be made. The round is more or less decided. Those first few engagements. And also to note as well here, now that we've seen it a couple of times, they're putting a lot of trust in Yuka toward the A site. Whether or not he's actually had a lot of engagement with the AWP in main, I think that's the 4th time he's just held it by himself. Or mostly by himself. So far, so good. They're giving him a fair bit of trust, like I said, and it is paying off when you're then able to make plays like this instead. And it's really good, right? If that play just in mid does not work out, and if you don't get anybody there, you will have that third player in mid, the one that boost, that go back highway up towards the A side to support. So you're still thinking about it as well in terms of, okay, we do not want to let him be alone all too long. I do think X-Rustic have got something going on to this cache that it is that just is harder to counteract.
Yeah, it seems like they've really been able to iron this map out. I'm right there with you. Feels like this is a very good map so far here for this X-Rustic team. Can they finish off the job, though? It's going to be a follow-up purchase from Volzhaki with Mac 10s and a Tech 9. What are you liking, Nexus?
That was a 4 mid setup for X-Rustic. They were just counting on the fact that there's not going to be an A rush. In a round like this where you're anticipating either a half buy or a force buy, it is kind of brave to have nobody on A.
Yeah, true, you're not wrong.
But right on the guess yet again, or right at the money. Here's the utility going toward the A site. But doesn't matter. X-Rustic are willing to play this one as a retake if they have to. There's Baimi for the first one, Moonwolf the second, and now this Force Bike's finally got something going on. Volzhaki, they've got some magic out of their showing it yet again, but now the site smoked out of the utility here is making them think maybe X-Rustic have somebody still here. Requiring to take fights eventually, they'll go through the smokes. No one here. What can't be planted, we'll play a 3 or 4 or 3 and 5 retake, excuse me. And one that X-Rustic are not willing to go for. In terms of not giving away any more weapons, and not wanting to lose any more money either. They'll back out, and Volzhaki will yet again put it into the distance of 1.
Yeah, much needed round there for Volzhaki. I mean, it was a pretty unconvincing force buy instead of weapons that they had to work with, but they're still actually going to be able to find success. I think it was Baimi getting the kill from the roof, really sold Moonwalk's position with him being as far forward up towards the box as he was. It was never going to be expected by X-Rustic, and now they're really just battling to try and keep these weapons in play. You don't want to overcommit if you're Volzhaki. A couple players going down, Yuka can drop something brilliant, so ET side will have everything they need, but Volzhaki are just still nipping at the heels of X-Rustic here.
All it's going to take as well is a single win here. Right, we're looking at the economy on that CT side, and they're pretty much broke on everybody but Yuka. All you need in this round, wipe them all out. Control of the game suddenly shifts. That is how close this at the moment is. They have to get past that. They have to get that done. And now we're seeing another shift for X-Rustic. The last few rounds have been more mid-centric, as said. A lot of focus on that mid-control and a lot of trust on Yuka. This time, nobody mid. A lot of focus on A main. They hold their setup. It definitely feels like they'll be correct about it.
Yeah, I mean, maybe not so happy with the setup they had last round, right? Where they were completely disengaged from A, and then the round ended A, and they were never even able to think about the retake, having lost 2 players in middle. Now, Volzhaki are going to dump their util into mid. 2 players have been boosted up. 2 going to reroute through middle. There's actually nothing going on A.
As he's getting info, we'll fight Olymp in a moment here. Suddenly, a site pretty much cleared out. You will make a rotation as well. That it will be JKaz coming to support the B side of this. Contact goes positive for Sammy. Volley's good, so as the nade will slow them down quite a bit. Chunked HPs. But you'll now know Yix-Rez is on the side. You assume as well a rotation has been made, but having started the defense, it's a fight that's maybe not necessary, but coming through the support from CT Sport, JKaz will go down. Baimi dodged the nade, Reiko didn't. Playing well in tandem as to who's going to take the fight, who's not.
Wow.
Nade will miss its target, and that is going to be securing round at number 10. Volzhaki, it will tie up the game.
Yeah, I mean, X-Rustic are going to be a bit bleak that round's gotten away from them, considering that they get that opening kill in A main initially. The problem is that Brilliance goes down empty-handed in Heaven. He needed to get at least a kill from Heaven on that initial take of the B-bomb site, because Yix-Rezo does. And Yix-Rezo even inflicts further damage. I'm surprised that Raiko was able to tank that HE grenade there. Volzhaki continue to cling on. They've been chasing Cash throughout the entirety of the map so far. Never once had their lead, but they are primed now to potentially go ahead. I mean, Yuka can drop a gun. Yxrezo can afford one. So there will be another decent investment here for the CT side, but their chances now start to dwindle.
Hanging on by a thread. This is the sort of grace that Walzaki didn't get on Inferno, and so instead they'll have it created. But X-Rustic, it's so overwhelming when every single round you're going into, the CT side has a different setup going on, a different read, and every single time, they have weapons. It doesn't matter what you've got in mind. X-Rustic are hanging on to that economical game incredibly well. But Walzaki, they made it this far, they've managed to get it close enough where Anubis is pretty much there. Just need a little bit of luck. Not a whole lot of it, just a little bit of it. From all we had on map no 1 for Yxrezo, now we're getting a little bit of that from By Me. Somebody else needs to join at the camp for Warazaki as well, and at that point, game over.
What do you think is going to be the result of this map here? Because I'm leaning Volzhaki.
I am too as well. It's the financial side of things is not easy to overcome if you end up losing it here.
Even feels like that's the game in which the direction is trending right now. Like that's the direction the game's currently trending. Feels like it's Volzhaki. 3 on B though.
That's a really good read. Yeah. X-Rustic, they trust Yuka on A. He gets one to trade his teammate. But Walzaki, they'll walk right into the setup. 2 on a site. And Brilliance waiting alone as the opening is through the smoke. There's going to be a second one for 3. Nope! Never mind. The flash is there, but By Me supports. And there goes one more. On the site, Yxrezo dead, downed, and bleeding is the CT side entirely as Yuka's left. His teammate had that set up perfectly. The flash is there, but By Me is an executioner.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it was very quiet on Inferno, so it's good to see By Me stepping up. Yep. Yuka's like, guys, how do I keep ending up in these situations being all alone? How are we not locking down this B bomb site? I said it to you earlier on, though, coming into Cash, that I've noticed a lot of teams struggling to contain those B execs, and yet it looked like it for a second, but he will end up departing the scene. Didn't have a kit, right? So it never really stood much of a chance. As well, Jackie, for the first time on Cash, I've got a lead. Yeah,
I'm looking at the bombs. I think there's probably one of the 2 at least had a kit. If he did hang on to a couple more seconds, T-side would have ran away. Maybe. But he's not willing to risk it. And instead, Walzaki, as you said, the first time, they will take a lead on Cash. But guess what, Hayes?
What's
the
that,
one
mate?
AWP being saved, there's still enough money on X-Rustic. It's insane. The loss bonus, the saving, how well it's still going for them. But right now, that's only a second place prize. That's a consolation prize to the trend of Walzaki in winning rounds. Which just feels crazy. Because how many times have we already said, the read is right, X-Rustic in the correct place, they're doing so many things well. Yet again, they're going to be on a site, ready to defend this. All they needed is God Formation. There's the utility you can see above. Flooding in. You'll slow them down. And Walzaki will still somehow end up winning this round. With Moonwalk, looking for the opening. Gets delivered instead by Yxrezo. Into NBK, waiting to corner and Pansy will look for the next one up above. You're fine. Suddenly T-side will need a little bit of luck to go their way, but Brilliance from above instead in heaven now waiting for his contact, and it all goes positively, finally flooding toward the right place, and the CT side does not crumble.
Yeah, it's a fantastic hold. I mean, this time they've got the read right, but Volzhaki decides to go back towards that A bomb site, veering away from the bomb site in which they've had all their success, which was towards B. And it does end up working out against them 11-all. Now, also keep in mind that X-Rustic have been getting a lot of kills in these rounds that they've been losing. So Volzhaki, sure, they've got enough money for a full buy here, but if they lose this round, 12-11, it very well may get away from them at that point. So there's no surprise at all to see them going back in towards this B bomb site here, which is where they've had all their success. And it's going to pop through the smoke here. One flash primed. Here we go, straight through. Xrezo is going to really struggle. Molly's into checkers. They would have heard the tick on him, so they know that he's there. Need to get something out of Brilliance. It's going to be a pop flash to try and support you. Xrezo is going to be forced even further out. He's actually been able to get a kill. That's a good return.
Good volley as well. Close this teams out of their approach. Take a little bit of damage off of them. And here's the support with Passy arriving in this, or on the scene. Everybody else is able to activate, get into the fight. And Rustic, Hayes seem to be getting this one wrong. They're the ones to reach map point first.
That's crazy. That's actually ridiculous that they've been able to kind of tip this back in their favor. They've only got one chance, though, Nexus. Only have one shot here, and we know how deadly Volzhaki are on these low buys.
I guess we'll just have to see if they can get this read one more time and deliver upon it. Volzhaki, they'll take a very direct route, grouped up. Squeaky hit toward the A side. Going to be a lone semi in main. He's going to be supported with flashbang or two, I presume. Throw those out. Smokes for highway, so you can walk out of Squeaky without all too much worry. Maybe a molly or a nade to blow out something, take away vision, whatever might be the case. But this time, we're talking about them fighting while they're not on the side to disengage from these fights. Earlier, those did not work out. However, this one, very different result, as everybody will feast, and Rustic will secure this game into.
Well, I just can't believe how quickly that got away from Volzhaki with how good they were looking throughout that throughout their T side. Rather, it seemed like they had that one under lock and key. It was trending in their direction the entire time, and it felt like maybe Rustic had kind of run out of gas a little bit. But they find that second win. They win 3 consecutive rounds at the end, and those 3 rounds are actually like really convincing as well. So it's brutal. It's brutal the way that that's gotten away from Volzhaki. Unfortunately, just never even close to being good enough on Inferno, and then too slow to start on Cash as well.
There's that 8-4 halftime. And then, right, again, at least comparing this to Inferno, they had everything going for them on that second half with a pistol and not collapsing right afterward, getting back-to-back rounds. And for all that is still, right, and in terms of this Cash game, how much praise I was given, especially toward this Rustic side, and okay, they're doing so many things right, they're keeping things moving, having so many great reads, and the sort of playstyle and fundamental capability they really had here, everybody on the same page. It's still very concerning that a lot of those rounds Walzaki was able to take when you have, let's say, like 30 on the bomb side, a 4th one rotating in, and so many of these similar sort of things, where those rounds should have been locked in. It never feels like it should have been this close, but it still definitely does show you that it is early days in this team's, I guess, career on Cash. There are things to be fixed. It's not perfect. It's not easy. But you can get it over the line here, and that's what matters.
Yeah, it was really impressive the way that they did kind of keep their composure and didn't crumble, considering the way they'd lost a bunch of those rounds towards the end of the map as well. I thought that that might just kind of like break their momentum and their confidence. But hey, we're able to deliver, and we're going to be delivering you guys. It's going to be Sashi taking on EAC as our last game of the day, the Danish derby. And of course, Overseer is going to be coming back for that one. He'll be filling in for me and reunited with Nexus. Mate, you looking forward to that game?
I think so. Yes, he's been really interesting to watch. They've been sort of surprising in terms of the overall consistency that they have been able to produce. So I want to see what they can do this time. What they'll be getting up to. How well is that game going to go? And obviously with the Danish factor as well, there's probably a fair bit of familiarity between the teams. I don't know exactly how much, but I can assume at least some. So sure to be a good time.
Well, I'm looking forward to it, mate. I'll certainly be keeping an eye from a distance. It's the good old classic duo. The classic duo that is always going to be bringing you the entertainment and the humor. Nexus and Overseer coming to a screen near you in about 40 minutes for that last game of the day.
For years, the power of these relics remained out of reach, hidden, sealed, forgotten. Until someone emerged who could unleash their power and bring it together in one place. next bit, discover the power of crypto betting.
This is how Navi shuts down team on Mirage. Bit waits a top connector until T's throw their second wave of mid smokes. Alexibi stays window while Makaze holds short. As soon as the smokes land and everyone's ready, Alexibi calls go. Alexibi jumps into underpass, Bit pushes through connector and Makaze swings from short. Now T's are getting pinched and completely destroyed from 3 different angles at once. If you want to run this with your team, it's already on Metastack with every role explained step by step plus a full video with timestamps showing exactly what each player does. Only on metastack.gg.
And another. He's got full control of the A side. Who needs a stack?
3 kills, make it 4. The last one left is Zywoo. Zywoo's got a second still, 76 health to play with. Looking to cut down Library. Zywoo 3 kills into this. 1v5! If he can! The best!
Eventually, everything must fade.
I'm happy like a child. Getting closer, I'm torn
Eventually, everything must fade.
remained out of reach, hidden, sealed, forgotten. Until someone emerged who could unleash their power and bring it together in one place. OneXBit. Discover the power of crypto betting.
This is how Navi shuts down any team on Mirage. Bit waits a top connector until T's throw their second wave of mid smokes. Alexibi stays window while Makaze holds short. As soon as the smokes land and everyone's ready, Alexibi calls go. Alexibi jumps into underpass, Bit pushes through connector and Makaze swings from short. Now T's are getting pinched and completely destroyed from 3 different angles at once. If you want to run this with your team, it's already on Metastack with every role explained step by step, plus a full video with timestamps showing exactly what each player does. Only on metastack.gg.
And another. He's got full control of the A side. Who needs the stack?
3 kills, make it 4. The last one left is Zywoo. Zywoo's got a second still, 76 health to play with. Looking to cut down Vipery. Zywoo 3 kills into this. 1v5 if he can. The best.
Welcome. I know Hayes was setting this up as me and my guy over Seard, but in fact it's me and, or over Seard and his biggest op, me.
Wow.
There's nobody who will dog more on this person besides me. I don't even categorize him as a person. He's more of a creature, a weird little basement creature. I don't know what you are. How far off am I?
Very. Or maybe actually on point. I'm not sure. At this point, I'm not sure myself. You're kind of getting me all confused here. Yes, it seems to be, and it seems to be going the right way. Ladies and gents, we're entering our final series of the day. It's going to be the final match of the day. Let's quickly jump over the schedule before we get into the next part of this broadcast and the final part of it. In fact, as you can already see, we had 3 games happening throughout the day already. One of them had been a 2-0. The rest had been pretty convincingly long and, kind of elaborate. And you were the one to be lucky enough to get the 2-0. I guess. I mean, lucky, depending how you describe lucky. But nonetheless, we had 1-2 or 2-1 for Enoch's division, I think expected. We had 2-1 for Butterfly, which was a surprise. I definitely thought one win would do better. I even saw them almost lose against Los Coguros, so that came as a bit of a surprise to myself. And then you guys, you and Hayes, covered Rustek versus Walzaki. How was that game? I had caught the tail end of it, but not the full game of it.
It was interesting for sure. It was individually carried by X-Rizzo on map number 1 on Inferno. Out of them for map number 2, Welshaki at least, they did a whole lot better. But as a team, X-Rustic just were better, right? Inferno, individually better. Cash, team-wise, they were just overall more on point. The calls and reads they were making were fantastic throughout the entire map. It definitely feels like a deserved win for X-Rustic.
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. So what you would say is it was a decent game overall and a relatively enjoyable one. Yeah, fair. No, that's a fair characterization, and I'm happy to hear it. For you and I, though, we've got the final game of the day here. We got Sashi versus EAC. Now, keep in mind, we are entering the tail end of the tournament as well. We are in the round of 16. It's come to the final end of this Series 5 of Europe. And today is, of course, the first day of round of 16. So still some more games to happen, but nonetheless, many more to come. And for you and I, EAC versus Sashi, as I've said. Let's overview the teams, more specifically starting with Sashi, a team that actually has quite a little bit of history, especially in the players themselves. But more than that, who would you single out first and foremost here?
Good question, because I don't know. I would assume that it depends on the day more than anything else.
Okay.
On who I would like to be, or who I would like to say, okay, this is the guy you gotta look out for, and all of that. Because there is a fair bit of firepower on this team that does just decide to activate every now and then. Sometimes it's very much team-focused, that it does work, and other times it's just not. So, consistency is a thing that I don't think Sashi have all too much, especially even for the last few games that they've played. Like, you look at the results, they've had about a 5-week break, which,
Yeah.
you know, whatever, fair. It's not like they're the only ones. But there is still going to be on that just a lot of back and forth in their results, and then they're also coming with Andledla, who's now, you know, not really played in a while. Last game he had was back in April with Ecstatic, so he's taken a bit of a longer break in that regard. So I do not know what to expect, but you know what? Just because you asked, I'll put the honors on Andledla for today, just to see what sort of form he's going to be in.
Yeah, let's go. Yeah, I mean, I'm hoping to see some good stuff, and it is going to be a bit of a Danish, we can say, Danish household battle. Obviously, we are looking at some big names. One of the big ones for me would definitely be Zyphon, and then Acor as the second one. It's been a hot minute since I've seen one of my favorite operas of the scene, and no, I'm not kidding. I'd always love to watch this guy back in the day. But for today, he's definitely going to have to show up and glow up. And for you and I, the team they'll be facing off against, you and I actually had the chance to see them not too long ago, haven't we? Nixon, Becker, Sen, and Amber and Fesser. They'd been pretty convincing overall. I got to give them that. They know what they're doing. Young, but hungry for victories, hungry for a dub. And I can only expect that things are going to be improving moving forward.
Certainly the hope, right? I think you say recently, but for me it's been probably over a month since I've seen this team.
That's yeah, okay, yeah, no, that's yeah.
It's been a hot minute in Counter-Strike time. A lot,
in fact, in esports
has
time.
changed.
Yeah, okay, fair.
So we look at what these guys will be capable of doing today. Like you said, young and hungry is what this team is, and that's been somewhat of a fun thing to look at as well. Since these last times I've seen him, Annabelle was the sort of X factor that when he did step up on the team, it was really fun to watch because he has a lot of talent, but he's not really the, I guess, outlying or oh my god, outstanding player when you look at not just numbers or stats overall. So there is a lot of raw power here that just needs a bit of polishing, and I can hope and I can expect that fair bit of that will be shown today.
Okay, no, I can agree with that. I'm definitely expecting and hoping that, as you say, both will come true. Of course, for us, the veto is the next part of the schedule here. Let's see which map exactly we'll be watching. And oh my goodness me, it is going to be Cache as our second map. That is lovely. I am happy to see it, not going to lie. Cache definitely amongst my go-to maps to play. I've played a lot of it actually recently. Not even like this is no cap. I've been playing a lot of Cache. I've been playing a lot of Premier here and there, and Cache has been definitely the go-to map. I always enjoyed it, and I'm happy to be watching it here. Now I can only surmise that EAC is going to be ready and that they've prepared something for us here on this map specifically.
Yeah, I mean, so far they played 3 games. They have managed to beat every single one of their opponents, starting with Magic, who are a pretty good team. And then they beat also Entropy and Atreides most recently as well, I believe, in this tournament. So they're setting up somewhat of a dominant start to Cache as a team, which, you know, fair enough. The question again will then be what sort of a plan will Sashi have overall. But the thing I'm, you know, I guess shocked about it is that this is the exact same veto, or the exact same start again that I had in the last series with Inferno first, then Cache. It's only the decider that does change, so I'm going back to what's already been said and what's already been done in our last match. Maybe we'll see Ancient, maybe we won't. That's the question. And exactly how do we get anywhere in this one? You know what, there are a lot of questions, and I'm sure those answers as well do lie somewhere. But, Theo, I don't know about you, but I have a little techno in my ear telling me that we could go for a little bit of a break before everybody is ready and good to go.
And we are going to be going for a break. We'll see you in a second.
Howdy doody, lads, lasses. Welcome to map number 2. We did not get to play Inferno. We are unfortunately having to forfeit on that one. But we do get to see Cash.
Yay!
We're going to be
my
starting things
favorite.
off here and now. And with me, if you forgot, over Seard.
Yeah, I haven't left this world yet, thankfully, so, you know,
Still
I'm
got
still
a
here.
couple of good years before the dementia kicks in.
I would hope so, at the very least, but, ladies
Maybe
and
a
gents...
decade or two if we're being
Oh,
generous.
wow. You are being generous,
Hopefully,
apparently.
right?
Sure.
This one- Couple heads are rolling, though. T-side are not left in a great state. Only Becker and Amber remain of EAC. Only Amber remains of EAC.
And soon he will be gone too. He's trying to sneak his way through here, through Forklift. He might actually get a drop on Cabby.
Nope.
No, he's watching Quad, but doesn't matter. Quad. Perfect. And that is going to be Sashi with the pistol. I mean, let's be fair, though. Going into this series, I would put Sashi ahead of the curve over EAC. I don't think there was ever any doubt in my mind that Sashi is the better team here. If nothing else, just by name value alone, I would post them as the stronger team. And there's another catch-22 here. You know which one is it? I'll let you mull on that one for a second if you will catch my drift.
No. What do you mean?
A majority of EAC players have never played Cash in a competitive setting. While Sashi players, yes, they're young enough to not have ever played Cash when it was removed in 2018, or was it 19? One or the other. I think it might have been 19, but regardless, yeah, either 18 or 19, just after DOS. I don't know which one it was, but in any case, I forget now. You know, the age has not been kind to me, but apparently to EAC it has been, as they're finding quite fair success, and they did choose to play it. So yeah, this is a nice little start.
Nade incoming. Dodge
nade.
just about.
Yeah,
That would
was
have
a
been it.
If he had committed to the bomb plant, he would have died, absolutely. And luckily, Becker, good intuition. And down to a 2 versus 3 retake. Aqua and Anlele are left. Let's see if they manage to make it happen.
You're seeing the answer. They are not making it happen.
Yeah,
that nade really would have been it, though. If that connected as a 2-on-2 bomb plant, maybe gets delayed for a few extra seconds as well. And at that point, you can try to swarm through. Hope that whoever that is, think that's Nixon, would have been isolated. You could have taken a 2-on-1 on him. But comes down to a little bit of luck and some intuition from Becker. Dodge the trouble, and his team will take round number 2. EAC will force by to victory, tie up the score line immediately. Decent save, but it's not one that's immediately going to be hugely beneficial in the sense that they can drop another M4. Instead, Sashi left in a bit of an odd situation, but they will look to reinvest back nonetheless.
Yes, sir.
What other option do you have? Lost bonus, nothing. This is the best you can do.
One of the discussions I want to raise and kind of float around a little bit is Cash has historically been a CT-sided map, and heavily so. It used to be one of the harder T-sided maps, actually. It's CT-sided maps, actually, and very difficult to play as T. As the terrorist. So what I want to float is how much is Counter-Strike 2 and its perhaps macro changes going to affect this balance? Is Cash going to tilt towards more of a 50-50 scenario, right? Is it going to be more of the same? Is what I'm wondering, because in recent days, from what I've seen, from what I've played it kind of still remains in a way CT-sided, but heavily. And I mean, I cannot put enough effort into the heavily part, dependent on the team that plays it, especially the CT side, how they play it. And right here, we're going to have a mid-push. By the CTs, that is.
Becker's kind of
he's
around
watching
this,
heaven.
will be caught by surprise, only looking for one boost, not that one. At the same time, we've got the B play coming in, and Mister will be waiting on the bomb side. Here comes Utility, will flush him out into the open. Crosshairs of Fessor. And left with 2 CTs. You'll at least have on letter in a half-decent position, can try to walk in with his teammate together. But this is not really something that's going to suddenly make it happen. You've got Fester a lot of the site, but the A-bomb side, it is where the real action is happening. So, not only do you have to win this fight, but also rotate over with both your players. Where, thankfully, Cabby has the kit. But you also have to decide, do you want to go for this? Save here would mean you gotta, again, maybe half-bind the next one. And that seems to be the sort of choice they are committing to.
I'm not surprised. I mean, looking at the economy, looking at the situation right now being on the other side of the map with the bomb planted and A side being fairly difficult to retake. Even if you have perfect utility and HP on both players, Cabby makes the shot call here to fall back and play it safe. Cabby, of course, as far as I know, the IGL still, unless something specifically changed in the last month or so. As for EAC, I'm actually not 100% certain who's IGLing. Is it Fesser or... Yeah, help me out here. I'm a little bit in the dark with them. I actually forgot. I think we talked about this last time we casted them, but for some reason that eludes me, shall I say. Because, simply put, I don't recall.
Neither do I. However, let me see if I can give you the answer immediately as I've got this Wikipedia pulled out. Unfortunately, Wikipedia does not say.
Yeah, see, that's... I was already doing my fair share.
A mystery.
Yeah, because none of the players are historically listed as IGLs, right? Becker, the Opera, obviously. The rest basically as riflers. I'm like, that's why I'm a bit in the dark. Who's actually taking over the IGL role? If I'd had to guess, I would maybe say Fessor.
Right,
maybe.
By
virtue
prestige of experience, yeah.
Yes, exactly. And he's actually the only player on the roster, if I'm not completely mistaken, to have played at the time that Cash was still in the professional competitive pool. Just want to point that out. So, you know, Nixon started also in 2018, but I'm not sure he played a lot at the time. The rest at 2024, 2022 at such and such, and 2020. But in any case, yapping about the years, let's see the round instead. EAC is about to make it 3-1.
I'm still trying to find an answer to this. On Twitter, it does not say on any of their profiles. Might be leading this. I don't particularly want to scroll down all the way to every single tweet they've had, so we will call this one a mystery.
Maybe somebody in chat is going to be kind enough. Maybe Asilian is watching and he's going to be giving us a little bit of info as to who's the IGL. But in any case, Sashi right now struggling to keep composure under the pressure being put on them. We saw a bit of a trade out on mid. We saw an entry on B, and that pretty much leads to a B fall. As I said earlier, though, with Cash comes the CT side, and the CT side usually plays for mid control. Now, usually 90% of the time, the CTs will play into vents, and then they're around the position of ventilator or shaft. So I'm wondering if Sashi is going to follow that same logic, where Cash kind of dwells upon the most, or rather comes on to be the strongest for the CTs. Through sandbags, through mid, exactly that is the plan. No boost, by the way, for EAC. That's one of the things I've been noticing more and more recently, personally. Cash and boost has not been as utilized as it historically has been. And we can see here, counter util has been thrown. Abby burns, and wait, the molly didn't fully extinguish. That is surprising. Nixon walking all the way to the edge of sun. Oh, Mr. still wins the duel. Cabby finds another. That's Fesser. And so much for that entry has gone awry as EAC are down to 2.
Well, the HP is not perfect, but here's the thing, a lot of that is still going to be unconfirmed, and 2 versus 5, it's not necessarily one that is tempting you. So ESC just needed to overstep from Sashi if they're suddenly going to turn their thoughts about this round itself. And as long as the CT side will simply hold back whether the bomb sides, there's not going to be any sort of attempt made. There's also the incentive as well. You save this one, send Annebecker can drop a weapon. Fessor probably purchases one for himself. So reinvestment is going to be coming back up at the T side on the back of these two weapons being saved. But a good sign is nonetheless going to be the fact that Asashi can't put up these rounds now on the board. Second for their CT side. Obviously, they did have that pistol win, so this is not going to be a sort of thing where it's back-to-back. Not yet. Early game, however. We'll still keep an eye on that, right? Especially if one of these sides will be, or when one of these sides will be broken by economy. Currently, it is EAC on that sort of line as the reinvestment comes through. There it is. So, scraping the bottom of the barrel for these weaponry, or for the weaponry. Need to make something happen here and now with that. If not, you're going to be ecoing, giving Sashi a couple of those CT sides or CT rounds early on. Or at least, very likely, going to do so. Gotta keep an eye out on things. But, here and now we go. See what we can do as we set things up immediately. Double boost up, smoke is on down as well. And willing to brawl and fight their way through mid. It's going to be Cabby and Zyphon waiting. Sandbags and Highway, the little crossfire setup they've got going on. But Cabby's flushed out. Standing for a little too long, but eventually extinguished.
Ooh.
As the AC take control of mid.
Yeah, but Sashi, we can see Akor pushing into Sunroom and actually getting a freebie. Now, back to safety, back to the margins of mid. This is a big conglomeration of the CTs towards Z, towards Z, as you would say. And Amber, good angle, bit off angle, but
there's a lot of info.
It's not going to work. Mr. and Anlele, each for one. They found the cross on A. They know this is going to be a full A play. That nade might strike true. It doesn't connect as well as you'd think. And somehow, Sen has been able to escape towards Fork. On default, it's going to be Fessor. And here we go. The retake begins in a second now. Molotov behind Fork.
Great.
Beautiful.
One more. You've got low HP on Lettle at least, but you've got to get past them. Fessor lights up two, and one more, but can't do it. Low crawl for Acor instead. Dangerous at that range. AK double headshot instant. Because the odds that you cannot get past that Asashi will just about get around. You'll again have some sort of chance here. You look at the money on Becker, absolutely an AK could be purchased. Everybody else hero rifle or half buy.
Yeah.
Or a bit more crazy tale, they are fully forcing themselves into round of 7 on EAC. There's reasons. You got them down to 1. You can imagine the economy's not great, but that is a bit of a misread. They still get a little bit in the bank on Sashi, no matter the case.
Yeah, see, the thing is, you lose, and all of a sudden Sashi not only get 4, but 5 also. And you're looking at a very different potential outcome of this first half all of a sudden. And we can see mid-presence is... Yeah.
This is as Ricky Martin said, leave it la vida loca on this T side.
Yes, indeed it is. And finally a bit of a boost there as well. This is the... if you would describe Cash by a single word, it would be boost.
Oh, I would say mid.
Mid or boost, one or the other, yeah.
Mid as in derogatory, it is not that great. People are overhyping it.
Mid
but
position
Zyphon right
or
now
boost?
cannot be understated at least. Double from the boost. Flash
anti-boost,
still has support with a flashbang. Perfect. 3s where he'll stop but a Cabby instantly trades.
And look at Anlele.
And this round truly is all mid.
Yeah, it's everything on mid, and that's the beauty of Cash in a way as well. Mid is so important; you really do have to fight for it. There are many ways to approach it. One of the better ways, if you ask me, for the T side would be double on boost. You crouch boost, you kind of wait there for a second, and then 2 players run out onto the mid position, and 1 more through doors, or rather through entry, and all of a sudden you've got control and potentially even trades in your favor. But it's so much about that first point of contact that you really have to work it together as a squad. And one of the things you've been warning about is the economy for EAC. By Cabby, yes. You've been warning about EAC and their economy, and unfortunately they are the ones to have to pay their debts. As the op shots from Akbar will not miss, the M4s are connecting, and Sashi, who seem to be having a bit of a warm-up here for them. The first 3 rounds a bit problematic, but they seem to be right back at it. By the way, apparently, according to chat, thank you by the way, chat,
Yes.
they don't have an IGL. Like, nobody that's officially IGLing, yeah. Now, I don't know if that's like, maybe I'm being baited here, maybe it's just a joke, but...
You know what? I want to believe in the old Danish propaganda of everybody is a well-oiled cog in the machine.
See,
maybe they just vibe it.
See, I wouldn't be totally surprised, because there's legitimately not a single player that is... that has IGL
fits
before.
the role, yeah.
Yes, and nobody that I would exactly fit under that role. I mean, Fesser, like I said, it would be the only one I'd be willing to put in that hot seat. Nixon, he might have been playing for almost as long as Fesser has, but certainly not at the same level, nor with the same amount of, let's say, opponents, or quality of opponents. Though his experience, whilst not to be denied, it's perhaps not as good, not as bountiful as Fesser's. But I don't know. Does only experience constitute the chance to be an IGL? I wouldn't say so necessarily. I think it's more intuition. I think it's more about the player himself. Is he a natural-born leader? Is he made to lead and to make the shot calls under pressure? You know, there's a lot of factors that go into it, and I personally don't know the players themselves enough to make a judgment call as who would fit that bill the best. But I'm sure that they've come up with something at the very least.
Yeah, there's also, I guess, an argument to make against that Fesser thing of saying he's often been sort of more of a star player, or like in that sort of seat at least, right?
Sure.
So you
but
don't
is he
always,
still that?
So yeah, that's the thing, right? I mean, so far stats-wise, yeah, kinda. But not as much in terms of sample size. But I still think, right, it's gonna be hard to justify that and be like, hey, let's put this guy who's really good at fragging as the IGL, right? That's not always the wisest choice.
I mean,
but
it's
again,
2015
right, we don't know
all over.
what the inner workings are exactly.
Yeah.
For all we know, they could just be more or less dividing areas across the map, especially on CT sides as well. Or T sides go for something simple. Or a map like Cache as well, that will work in the sense of you can just get contact, go default, and then just group up, right? It's fine.
It is. And sorry for jumping in there, but I'm so sad that Anle left Shroud. That position is legendary, and so is MBK.
You mean Shroud?
And, Shroud, yes. Let's get to Shroud. Shrimp, Shroud, Shramp, Shromp, Pomp, Chomp, I don't know. Chomp. At this point, you never
lost
know.
the plot. He's going all. He's going C now.
By the way, we've got some questions as well. Inferno was a forfeit by EAC, unfortunately. Yes, they did not solve their technical issues, so unfortunately they were forced to give up Inferno. That's why it says 13-0. It was a forfeit. And Sashi are now playing effectively a best of one if they win. And we'll be moving on to the round of 8, if that happens, obviously. Nixon in Squeaky. This is a beautiful place. By the way, funny story. This is possibly one of the positions, one of the go-to positions to wallbang in this game. Back when Cache was still a thing, we had massive amounts of wallbang go through the wall.
I guess.
Yeah, dude, you're from MBK. You'd be wallbanging.
Yeah, I know.
Like all the time. Back when the op had 10 bullets, of course, you know.
Sure.
Or you'd buy an auto sniper.
If it hits and you've got somebody nearby, there's absolutely a huge just tag and sound you can at least hear to confirm somebody's there, which if somebody's that far forward of Squeaky, you'll hear and you'll have some expectation, okay, probably they play.
Yeah.
But We'll see if that's going to become more or less done at this time. In this current meta or not. Here, Sen finally finds water to trade back A-Core. Problem is, 3 CTs are going to be already on the bomb side to stop them.
We see...
And stop them they have. Cabby from above will deliver one final headshot. Sashi's CT side right now is looking indomitable.
Yeah, I love the fact that Anale is wall-banging Superman as well. He's looking to shut down the retrieval of the op that A-Core dropped when he got caught. And that is going to be, as you say, an indomitable performance at 7-3 right now. They're looking very much on point. Is that a Falcons logo? Did I see that correctly? I think
have
so.
no idea.
Yeah, I think Cabby just sprayed Falcons logo on the floor. Interesting. Didn't think that team had any fans at all. At least not real ones. Joking, obviously. We're having a good laugh.
No, you're
or
real
not.
for that. The only valid reason is Gary didn't funny business.
Yeah.
But that's over now.
Hey man,
Not
Nico got a
making the
major finally.
Winning the major is such a funny thing.
Do not getting out of last groups. Yeah. In any case, Cabby. Good trade.
Nixon still lives.
Yeah, Nixon can count his lucky stars, but there will be utility flying in soon enough. A-Core is coming. He's got a molly. He's got 2 smokes and a few flashbangs at the ready for Sashi, this retake.
Nixon and Mister were in a bit of a predicament there, but neither one apparently has seen each other. No official spot on this, or maybe there is. We'll find out, but there's one. Zyphon starts to retake, 3 more to go. Nixon on low HP does have to be cautious, but his teammates will be the ones to get first contact and can shut this down. Nixon will be a supportive piece only. Time starts to run down, you gotta move fairly quickly. There's one from Nixon, now your attention split, and A-Core also cracked wide open. Becker will hunt him down, that is EAC. Finally coming back alive on their T side.
At least for one. Maybe 7-5, I would maybe say, yeah, cool. 5 rounds T side. If memory serves me correctly, and it still should, I'm not that old, despite some people claiming otherwise. 5 rounds on T side of Cash was always, always kind of golden standard. Obviously, back then it was still 5-10 halftime, aka 15 rounds. But one could argue that this is in fact even better, because 5-10 halftime now would equate to an 8-4 halftime. So this would be more akin to a 8-7 halftime, I guess.
Yeah, it's hard to make the exact judgment.
There's no
pistol
exact
rounds obviously
comparison.
will carry a lot more weight afterward as well.
Yes,
but,
the
we're
pistol
kinda
is so much more important. Yeah.
We've gotten used to it, so it's
Which
a
is
different
funny.
game.
Funny how people who like the system of MR12 are all for
24.
sorry, MR24, but like MR12 as in 12 rounds halftime. A lot of people will then say, "Oh, but pistols are too random. We should just remove them altogether." Well, bro, but the whole come on, like the whole point of the pistol is to at least make it somewhat interesting. But with that being said, the first half is interesting. It's 7-5, and we'll be right back after a short break. Actually, 8-4.
And
I've
so much telling you. I've been saying your brain no work, your memory bad. And it was 2 seconds ago, and you already forgot the scoreline.
No.
The hospital is calling.
We were talking about
to go
pistols
into
so
the
much.
care homes, man. What is happening inside of that cranium of yours?
I don't know if there's even a cranium left, but we were talking so much about the pistol, I felt like, surely it's 7-5 for some reason, I was like, 7-5, blah, 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 blah. No, it's 8-4, so we do have the golden
justify your
standard.
dementia.
No. It's going to be round 13. The pistol is here, and Sashi, they've got an idea to go A. I like it. Let's see if it works. Through Squeaky, 3 players will be jumping in. We have a player controlling backline and 1 in main. Here comes the push. Nobody's going to check fork, but it doesn't even need to be checked because Zyphon finds both, and that is A side fallen. Amber, Fesser, and Nixon now having to retake. This pistol is coming to a quick close. EAC heavily dependent on that first contact, and they're ready for Mr. Good flank check. Nixon needs to win this next duel. He does. It's a 3-on-3. We're looking at a potential retake that could succeed. In fact, Amber, oh, no way. Unlimited, it doesn't matter. 1v3. Oh, come on.
Headshot special coming in. 1 versus 3 in a flash as well on every single fight taken. It is a 1 versus 1. Just fantastic isolation on those fights for Unlelele as well. For what should have been a 5-on-3 retake as well, it looks real good. The Nixon turns it around for only a second. Zashi and Unlelele refuse to give that up. Take a timeout, gloat, let him know. Might have been a bit of a close call, but that is now reality. 4-9. AAC seemingly are going to be going for the eco here. They're not willing to risk it all here. Unless they decided to change their minds at the last second.
They should not.
Feels like the right call, at least.
No. This is like an easy save. This is not even. There's nothing more to ask about here or do. You save, you play it safe, and this is one of those moments on Cash, especially where you really got to be very careful. Your next move could be your very last, and we'll see Sashi play pretty default here. They'll go into the boost. They'll go out mid. This is standard, as default as it gets. I like this mid play. I do like the boost. Like, I think it's on red boost, it's always been strong. You know, one of the beauties about boosting on red in main is you would always be able to counter CTs being either close left or right? Because you would have the advantage seeing them and they would not see you. So that's one of the core advantages of that position. And it's one way to actually counter a push into mid by boosting there.
I like the swiftness of it as well. You don't need to jump up on the little coil. You can just
on the coil,
wait low.
Yeah, that's the trick of it all.
Going in.
Lovely util.
Zelford will immediately toss that over and Nixon will catch it, but is able to survive, apparently.
Look at the control of mid, though. It's being played a bit more passively than I perhaps would like. Nobody's playing vents, which is a telltale sign that EAC is looking to play defensively, likely 2-on-B directly. Nobody's broken vents yet as well, so info for Sashi is available, obviously. And I don't know if you recall, but there was a way to break the vents with a wall bang on the B side, inner side, when you'd be running. Yeah, we've seen it before. It's obviously still being in use, and that's one way to boost into vents, leaving them unbroken on the outside in mid, and kind of giving a bit of a surprise kind of thing to your opponent potentially. But 10-4, well, let's see if Sashi get 11 and potentially 12. It's a B hit coming.
Yeah. On the topic as well, Unlelele was doing down the CT side. Was breaking that over. We've seen it in action here already as well. And I'm sure we also see it here for EAC, but not from the POV, at least not yet. Instead, they're opting for a, like you said, more defensive approach for the majority of this entire round. And I was thinking with that sort of double setup in mid, they want to go for a fast rotation toward A or B. In fact, now they'll need to rely upon the speed defense and with the boost coming up. It is not great. One more wait on the bomb side. They're a little trapped in lie and wait. Two for Nixon. Gives them a chance. A third, but it's not possible. And support is locked behind smokes. Where's the bomb plant? Where's the bomb plant? It is close. Try to stop it. And Sandy will attempt to, but it has been shot down. And it's coming down to the last few seconds. And now just Becker remains. Having sniped out an A-core is not going to be good enough. Cannot stop it. And Sashi with a just a blessing of the stars, apparently, whatever it might be. Heard this another 2-on-1. Becker will swing out, make the noise. Sashi look to play this one together, take the fight, and instant trade. Headshot down. And 11 for the Steve side. They are nearing the end of our series.
Unfortunately, that is the reality of the current situation. It's starting to get a little bit out of hand, and it's looking like it's going to end soon enough. EAC it's truly a sad thing to not have seen their first map. And whilst it was not their map pick, I'm sure we would see a good performance out of them. One can hope. And here, though, as good as it might have been at moments, this is just not gonna cut it right now. Acor.
A bit more of a warm-up could have been needed.
Yeah, it's, you know, I can't blame them. They probably feel a little bit devastated by the fact they had to forfeit the first, and I think that obviously negatively impacts your own mentality and your own performance in general, and you're going to be kind of going into this a bit, let's say, a little bit less exhilarated. But regardless, look at the slowdown from Sashi. If we focus now on the round to come, Sashi is playing this extremely smart. Cabby's obviously making the call here to just kind of give themselves a bit of time, wanting to make sure that EAC is not pushing anywhere without their knowledge. Acor is remaining on towards B from Sunroom. He might be looking to fake execute B itself. And that's actually one of the core strategies of Cash.
Oh god, I love this.
Yeah.
The fact that he's scoping, he's making noise, right? And Ober lurking alone is not the expectation, so you do have EAC completely fooled at the moment. Utility flashbangs, everything as well. There's the counter util coming in. And a site as free as it can be. Now, the hunt for Acor might be on, for sure. But he's holding for it, Fessor down, and now you know, it's not everybody on Acor, so his job is done.
Good nade.
A site locked in. And a retake that will not have any legs. Nixon's going all the way toward T-spot and Sen running the hell out of there with his M4 tucked between his legs. Sashi, what do we call this? I think it's match point, right?
Match and series point, yeah. Acor played his part beautifully. I think you kind of encapsulated it perfectly. Scoping, making small movements, kind of trying to really sell the idea there's an opera and the whole team there. Obviously with the follow-up execute, everybody already rotate from EAC, and they were even more convinced of the fact that that is the case. And as soon as Acor starts retreating, he's not fully retreating by leaving them T-side completely open. He's kind of slowly going through the corners, through the motions, and he's stopping the actual progression of EAC, and eventually actually even gets the second at the end there. And really well played by the man himself. Shuts it down completely by himself almost. The EAC are now 8 rounds away from a tie and overtime and a third potential map. Or, if you're looking at it from the other side, from Sashi's perspective, it's 1 round to a 13-4 and final score here in the round of 16. CCT Europe Series 5. That's our last game of the evening, and round of 16 might be concluding here for EAC, unfortunately, with a loss. For Sashi, that means their next opponent will be either K27 or just players, and honestly, it shouldn't even be a question. It's going to be K27, I think. Beautiful.
One more. We'll trade. But not the only one. You've got more pieces on Sashi active and a cooking. Bit control does become a bit more scarce for EAC. They're at least moving together to try and resurface one more kill and recover this map control that they will be doing. I will admit, you can fairly confidently back away and spend the sites yet again, but with very little information, you just have to trust on Fessor's slightly advanced position on B. But Nixon and Becker can now hold the A side all by themselves, for which the position's fairly decent. Becker from above will get contact, hopefully take down a side for could be the game plan, or trust Nixon to take 2. Fantastic. And then you can swap with this player up in heaven. But that's exactly what they do, because EAC is not done unless Acor decides their time is up. The 1 vs 2 now recovered, or required. Quite a hefty amount of lifting to be done. But Becker says, no thank you, that is EAC for round of 5.
Okay, 1 round. And you know what I always say when it comes to comebacks? It's on a round-to-round basis. You have to play it step by step. It's going to be walking on Legos, but hey, better Legos than nothing at all than thin air. This is going to be a massive comeback that's going to lead into a potential overtime and maybe back into a third map. If that's the case, congratulations, lads. You deserve it. If not, well then, you know, it's nothing to be ashamed of. It's not an easy match, and right now, simply put, Sashi is doing fairly better overall.
I was going to say, I do have a couple of counter-arguments here for you.
Okay.
First, with the better Legos than thin air.
Okay.
I would love to walk on a thin air. That's cool as hell, dude.
Nah, bro. You know...
You want to walk on Legos? Be my guest. I'm going to be walking on air, buddy. Second of all, I don't think you say come back around a basis. I think normally, and most of the time, 9 out of 10 times, you would say it's over, pack it up, wave the white flag.
Yes, no, okay, yeah, it's true. It's true. 99% of the time I'd be, yeah, this is done, it's cooked, it's over, it's goodbye, good night, and all that good jazz. And honestly, like, it doesn't really matter right now. This is... yeah, kind of to be expected. Ladies and gentlemen, it is about to end, isn't it?
Yeah, it's gonna be an odd day at work today when I look back at it and say I had 2 best of 3s and 2 out of 3 maps were on cash. Just think about that statement for a second.
I am.
3 maps, 2 best of 3s, 2 cash.
Yeah.
Nixon has a chance to ruin. Never mind, he's dead. He had a chance, but Unleaded does not stop holding, covering the only angles he could imagine they would be walking in from. And such is the game. Such is our day. Apparently, Tails falling into the void. Excuse him. He'll try to survive. As you see, he's got a little bit of a void monster behind him. Something.
Yeah, I don't know.
You're being consumed. I don't know if you'll make it to tomorrow, I'll be honest, but I wish you the best of luck surviving this encounter.
I hope I do. We've got some games tomorrow. If I'm not mistaken, we're continuing here at the CCT Series 5. Please correct me on that, but I think we're watching round of 8 together. I'm fairly certain that's going to be the case. No, wait.
Series 6 for you and me, buddy.
6? Ah, okay, yeah, my bad. So we won't get to see the playoffs finished by our own eyes, but surely we'll be following it. Ladies and gentlemen, that is going to be the final score and the final series of the day. Sashi take it 2-0 at the end. 12-5, the only map that was played, cash, and the first one forfeit by EAC. Next is I'll let you have the final few words here before we send it out, because honestly, there's not much else to say beyond Sashi just was better.
Bye!
For years, the power of these relics remained out of reach, hidden, sealed, forgotten. Until someone emerged who could unleash their power and bring it together in one place. 1xBit, discover the power of crypto betting.
I really want to get an op kill. Let's open Steam Overlay and search for an op play. I need a city side solo play on Ancient. Oh, I love Monacy. Let's go for this Monacy deep banana peek. So it shows I molly deep ramp and then peek towards doors and fall back insta after the kill. Alright, let's go. Let's molly deep ramp and peek. Falling back. Nice, let's go.
And another. He's got full control of the A side. Who needs a stack?
3 kills, make it 4. The last one left is Zywoo. Zywoo's got a second, still 76 health to